Commissioners, the meeting is live.
Good morning. Welcome to the July 31st meeting of the Riley County Commission. Please stand and join the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Public comments. All right.
It's not a whole lot going on this week. Well, it's kind of long, but Monday afternoon, attended July's intergovernmental luncheon at Rock and K's. Guest speaker and presenter was Charlie Herzog, area operations manager at the USO at Fort Riley. Discussed everything going on with the USO up on post and other area chapters across the region. There was no real legislative items to speak of that anybody chatted about, and everyone gave updates on everything that's going on respectively with their agencies and organizations. I guess we'll meet again in August. Had a couple of long but productive days at work on Tuesday and Wednesday, which is good. I think the heat and humidity made it feel a lot longer. And I'm feeling a little tired today because of it. But we'll get back to square. Other than that, we kind of felt like it went fast. Here we are at the end of July, almost August already. So 23 days. 23 days. So that's all I've got.
Okay. Well, John covered the intergovernmental luncheon, which I went to. It was good to get everybody together, but it was kind of a smaller attendance than Wednesday, I came into the office, did some work, had an informal meeting with Diane Craig. She was in the building and stopped by to say hi and talked a little bit. Let's see. Then I worked on the agenda and documents for today's meeting. Then last evening, I went to the Keats meal. And Amanda had created a nice flyer for the August 26th meeting, which I had so I handed out to a lot of people. It was really a lot of people there, lots of great food. So Representative Bloom was there. So I had a conversation with him. He said everybody was contacting him on Keats. Asking questions, what are we doing? Nothing's happening, all that stuff. I brought him up today. Give Amanda a call and me a call. Anyway, that was kind of interesting to talk and met his wife. Let's see. I also passed out a sign-in sheet for people who hadn't signed up for the email, didn't get any signatures. So didn't work too good, but probably everybody's getting information. But I got home. That's it for me.
As I mentioned, Monday was in government luncheon. Then had several calls about roads and township and who's responsible and stuff. So I came in and talked to John Ellison for a while Tuesday, go over what is required in the roads. I think he was going to said he's going to meet with Jacob on Wednesday to go over some of what the legal things are. And then they also had questions about University Park lagoons and got an update to send respond to some questions on that one. Other than that, that's all I have.
Ready for business, commissioners? First item, need a motion to approve authorization of the release of this information to auditors and sign the letter.
Well, let's say I would make a motion to authorize audit about financial statements for 2024 to our auditors.
I'll second.
Give it.
Been moved and seconded to approve the authorization of release of the information to the auditors. Favor? Aye.
Aye.
All three, please sign.
No, okay. You left. I left a bunch of,
Good.
they themselves. Pass them out, they will probably pass them out. Maybe you take them out.
Do you think they'd be interested? Great for that to meet the people. Probably is the biggest lagoon for the largest amount of people, largest impact. And well, and then it's gonna compare closely now with University Park.
Right.
They're both around the same time. Yeah. Next commission at Riley County Employee Action Forum, Steve Fox, new hire, Public Works Operator 2, Public Works Department. Hunter Austin, new hire, volunteer firefighter, Fire District number 1. Jake Bolick, volunteer firefighter, separation of service. All three, please sign. Next commissioners, Riley County Physician Action Forum, seasonal public health nurse, health department. Okay, motion on that.
Okay. Go ahead and make a motion to approve, position in the say anything, in the Riley County Health Department.
Second that.
Been moved and seconded, advertise for the
See,
seasonal public health nurse. Health department, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All three sign, please. See how it transitioned to cups with lids that won't fall off.
it's a lot. If you spill in a public office, you invite.
Wouldn't have been as bad had it been wintertime and your feet were cold, you know?
A lot of space on either side.
Any changes to the minutes, commissioners?
And
I didn't see.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the minutes as written from July 28th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I would second that.
been moved and seconded to approve minutes of the July 28th meeting, all in favor?
Any items for next week's press conference, commissioners? How does the tentative agendas look?
For August 7th, there's a bunch of X's on the date, on review of minutes, at least on my.
Yeah, there's on mine too.
That's how civic clerk does it, just.
Oh, that's a civic clerk change.
So we have to change that.
Please.
Well,
You
that's,
would ask Cindy about it.
that's weird.
Vivian, if you can check on that, we need the date on that. And not all the X's, please.
And 20 XX, XXX, AM, XXX.
Yeah. Okay, next commissioner, you have Mr. Hanson at 9 o'clock. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of changes. We're gonna be going through.
But these minutes will be plowed through.
Right.
Well, next Thursday.
Oh, it's
Next Thursday, yeah.
Thursday's the first one.
Yeah,
Well, we lost that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be painful.
it's gonna be taking a butter knife to your eyeballs. Silver.
Yes, sir.
I'll grab it, I'll get my sketch and read
That's good. It's good. Lots of stuff, but it's good bonds and. Very good. Then. You should do that. Here's what I use. That. The line of the movements to the fence. It's where you're good. Thinking how to make the perfect. And get it. Because I was planning to leave that there. A lot of miles. That I hear Sears and all I think of is. Shady and political, so. Think that they still have areas, remember when I was in Fayetteville, Arkansas, they still have. A like portion of large mall, just because when they got the lease, they paid like next to nothing for it, like they just. And now I don't know if that's gonna make it's fucking crazy because initially, you know, when Sears was. In the full suite, everybody's like, this is gonna last forever, this is like one of the best companies I've heard. Oh yeah, let's sign you in and have you here forever, and now they're still. And they're not like good. Because the value of the land is increasing, so I'd like to see. That's the story, that's here, they played in Walmart, even if Walmart came along and chased that. Yeah, that's what they said about Sears. Yeah, you know, private, when 1900s, chasing. Now. I don't care, Jan. Pops up the, read this. Recently, was found, let's still. And technology. Wonder if they have any drone packages with raising my parents? Not here. Yeah, I've heard they are. It's pretty cool.
Big technology thing, so we're saying all of our computer stuff will be for class. So, communication classes. I can't see it, doesn't see it. I'm not seeing, I don't know which, I get another. Black phone, but yeah, like later, yeah. Back the sunglasses that, and you flip down and look at it and there you go. Bring it back. But it was on, man, but it's fun.
They did it in reverse and it's stupid. Yeah. Some change is good, not that.
I think like how you said you speak,
That's because everybody's on the. I remember it's old BlackBerry had the little ball. I missed that.
Okay. I remember that they should be when they want something that's in her name, they get. But she really forces to. Nailed it. And then she had Soon baby shower, this her, see. Her great granddaughter. Great granddaughter had a baby soon. They had to be accessible. Baby. Yeah.
Can you imagine like 1855 or 1860 having to pay the county bills from Riley County? Horse and buggy all the way to Denver, Colorado.
Jacob, you going to full time?
Unless commissioners would like to discuss anything prior. No. All right, yeah, we'll talk.
Yes, thank you. 9:20 AM.
And we all get shuffled over to Catherine's office because that's.
Okay, let's make sure.
It's a donation press.
When I put my ear up to the door, I can pretty well hear it.
She found out you worked with the cut.
In the bathroom, you can hear her.
Oh, no.
I guess there still needs to be.
Well, we got a couple. We got a couple minutes yet.
Oh,
Yep.
these guys.
Guess we go to the kitchen.
I think it's.
Dude, need to stop the kitchen, so we get executive sessions, we can get a snack.
Yeah,
Well, they're.
I'll work on that next.
I make a motion.
There's no fridge back.
Well, you probably lost your glass, and you had snacks.
Correct.
That's not good, that's the first time.
Me
Is there
too.
an oven
Sunday.
back there?
Huh?
Is there an oven back there?
There's, yeah.
Back there.
Yeah.
Well, there is in that kitchen. There's another one back behind the tissues back there. There's another little kitchen.
And there is an oven?
No, there's no oven in that one, but there is in that one.
In that one, there's.
Yeah, there's an oven and a microwave and a refrigerator. None of them are plugged in.
Certification based.
And there's a bunch of chairs too. Whole bunch of chairs.
It's a full kitchen. There's an oven, stove, microwave.
You know what I was thinking, Bibb stepped it up to the coffee, wouldn't fresh cookies every meeting?
So.
Yeah, me too. That's right. Sounds great.
We just need to put extension in here. They make cookies all the time. It's like torture. They'll be cooking something upstairs for extension, like testing a recipe, and the whole building smells great.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of follow the smell.
In my career. Yeah.
Or they make pickles sometimes, and that's strong. It's a little strong.
Hmm. I gotta stay away from that. Getting too big.
So. For using.
Oh, yeah, I've been over there. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Cookies, chocolate chip cookies.
We'd have to mix it up. We wouldn't want the same ones every week.
Oh, yeah, every.
Be like Commissioner Cookie of the Day.
We could
Yes, choose.
rotate.
Right.
Yeah, so test some recipes, vote on them for science.
Just for everyone, there's a snickerdoodle is not a cookie. Let's get that up front.
Well.
And Mr. Holman and I agreed on that wholeheartedly.
Don't like those either.
Okay, on that note, I'll move that the county commissioners, including Chairman McKinley, Vice Chair Foki, and Commissioner Ford with Jacob Hansen, interim county counselor, attorney for the commission, recess into executive session for legal consultation regarding pending litigation, an exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act, and the open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 9:20 a.m.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded for the county commission to recess into executive session for reasons previously stated and the attorney-client consultation exception to the Kansas Open Meeting Act. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, commissioners, the meeting is live.
Okay. Move that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I would second that.
And second, the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session, all in favor?
Aye. I also move that the record reflect no binding action was taken during the executive session.
I would second that.
Then moved and seconded, record reflect action. No binding action was taken during the executive session, all in favor?
Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer, here to present the Budget and Planning Committee's kind of recommendation for the 2 opioid fund requests that we have. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but currently, as of June 30th, 2025, and I'm sure still as of today, because I don't believe we've gotten any deposits, the balance is $238,142 in the opioid fund. For budgeting purposes, the AG's office did provide us an estimate that the county will receive until 2038. It's not a guaranteed amount to receive, so that could fluctuate. It could go up, it could go down, just due to potential administrative expenses such as payment disputes, if any of those businesses were to go bankrupt, or other unforeseen modifications. So we had 2 requests in front of the commissioners. We developed a list of questions to ask the Health Department and Community Corrections to hopefully help you make a judgment call or however you want to fund these. So the revised Health Department request was $75,343. It includes 75% of a part-time employee salary and supplies such as educational materials, 1 boxes, fentanyl test strips, and other various items needed for operations. The 2026 Community Corrections request for the bare minimum to operate the program is $130,798. So we've included the responses to all of the questions for your reference as well, but these were the 2 breakdowns we came up to. So to fund at 75% of the request, it'd be, $56,507 to the Health Department and $98,000 to Community Corrections, or to fund at 50%, $37,671 and $65,399. Now, we ran a ton of scenarios for this. And so I know you're probably like, how did you even come up to these percentages? But it's because we were looking at several years out, trying to figure out how long can we make this money stretch before we have to start supplementing it with ad valorem taxes. And so these were kind of the best case scenario. 50% was actually the best. 75% would get us through 2026. And then in 27 and 28, we projected funding them both at 50% with no increase to the request. So that's how we came to these numbers and our recommendation. Does the board have any questions?
What were they funded for this year? Is this were they funded 100% or 75%?
Correct. They were funded 100%. So the health department was receiving opioid funds from Riley County. So we started that back in 2023 with the transition from the OD2A grant to opioid. Community Corrections has been using the BJA grant and is not going to be extended after this year. And so this is why they're coming to us with the request this year.
But if we fund 75%, where's the other 25%? Because
So good question. So that's a really good question. So I don't know if Rich, if you want to call in Rich, but I can say that the health department, Community Corrections would have to apply for funding through the city of Manhattan, which they're already working on. So I think they could do that. I would encourage the health department to do the same thing, that they could reach out to the city of Manhattan and ask for funding as well.
100%, I know 50% might be long term, but pay for them, my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Help get them to adjust to it.
Mm-hmm.
And just saying 100% last year, 50% this year is
Sure.
So,
interesting.
So we did run numbers for like if we did fund 100% for 2026. And that would have actually brought us down pretty significantly in our balance. So we would have had about $29,000 left in the fund, in 2026. If we did the full request that community corrections asked for, which was actually 196,000, but so yeah, if we funded both at the end of 2026 and assuming we actually got the full amount that we were requesting or estimated to get from the opioid settlement funds, the ending balance for 2026 would be $95,226. And then we kind of projected, more scenarios off of that. And then 27 is when we would start going negative.
Do we get we don't get the $457,000 up front?
No.
To invoice them.
We don't, no, it's not an invoice. They just
so an average.
Yeah, they send it to us as they get settlement funds. And so it's not necessarily on a monthly basis or even a quarterly basis. We've only gotten one distribution so far this year.
How much was that?
It was about $22,000.
So we have to make a difference.
Well, we're still estimated to get the remaining fund, the other $25,000 at some point this year. But again, there's no guarantee. And so that's part of this equation as well, is like there is no guarantee that we could get this money at all. And so, same with grant funding, right? So we were trying to take that into consideration as well about here's what we know we already have, here's what we could do in 26. But if we were to continue on, we'd have to look at other options to supplement that.
Goes for another 10 years or something.
It goes till 2038, yes. We have 13 years left. Yeah, supposedly, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the health department's position was an agreement with the city and county, and the health department was funded with opioid funds from the county and city. I had talked to the city manager, Ron Fair, and he said, yeah, no problem, we're getting money, we'll pay half. That is not going to continue moving forward. It's going to be an application process like special alcohol, and so there'll be a risk of even getting any or how much, because they're going to have several applications from other entities. This has always been previous commission's fear when accepting grant monies for new grant programs. Even at funding of whatever percent, the difference is made up ad valorem taxes. We just went through how can we cut things we're not required to do in the budget. Ad valorem taxes. So that's the only way to make up that difference. Not saying either program's good, but it will require ad valorem taxes. This money isn't going to go very long. So both of these programs are going to have to figure out, and the commission's going to have to figure out, are you going to continue to, are they valuable enough to pay with ad valorem taxes now and in the future? Because even if you fund them at 75% or 100% this year, you're funding it with ad valorem taxes next year if you continue.
That's, I gotta say, if we did 75 this year, 50 next year. Kind of.
You probably won't have 50% next year for each one.
Yeah. You're not even using that.
So we've ran projections to do, if we did 75% for both this year and then 50% for both in 2027. But again, that's no increase to their cost. So I didn't project, what COLA merit for those employees would be, operational costs, stuff like that. So there would be money available, but by the time we hit 2028, we would be down to $21,000.
Any projections with their costs that we know?
Yeah, I kept it flat, so. So opioid hasn't necessarily been set yet. Health department and community corrections, they have been set, but the opioid request hasn't been set yet. That's why we're bringing it back today so we can finalize that piece.
So their budget soon needs to come in.
So community corrections had some projections in for their drug court costs, and health department did as well. Yes. Yeah, health department had that 75,000 in there for sure.
I think soon that's.
Yes. But this would not change the transfer amounts that you guys approve for either one of these departments. So I want to help make that clear too, because this is from separate funds, not county general. So it's a completely different fund. And so that wouldn't change, like what you approved for health department transfer, which is 2,095,000. And then community corrections was 147,000. That won't change from the general to their departments. We're just talking about opioid fund now.
These funds came originally from Big Pharma settlements, correct?
Yes.
So are they sitting at the state there, or are they sitting in the federal government?
It's state. And so I don't think the money's sitting at the state. It's just when they get that money in and then they can do distributions.
There's no guarantee.
Correct. There's no guarantee.
All those type of funds come with strings attached.
It's just, I hate to hire people in these programs and all of a sudden it's
Right. Commissioner McKinley, did you want to have staff come up and, did you have any questions? Did anybody have any questions for community corrections or health department?
These programs are.
Correct. Yes.
They put grants now.
Correct.
Their grants. Although I guess the health, we paid some of the health department last year.
Yes. Yeah. So in 2020,
Sure. And the month, partway through the year.
yeah. So in 23, we started it about halfway through the year. And that's when we had Riley County, Pot County, Gary County, and that didn't really work out so well. And so then in 2024, we did the split between Manhattan and Riley County. And so last year, Riley County only contributed $22,000 to fund the program. For 2025, Riley County assumed that entire cost, and we did a transfer of $54,000 to the health department from opioid funds. And the city of Manhattan said they were going to contribute, but I'm unaware of it ever going back in front of the commissioners.
This
It is.
figured it, but
It is. So it's a separate fund completely. So it's different from the spreadsheet because the spreadsheet just talks about ad valorem taxes and everything, but this goes on our state budget development worksheet, and it's the last piece of what I need now.
You look at the audit for Riley County years ago, we're not required to budget all funds.
Correct.
But Riley County made the policy decision decades ago that we will, because people were saying we're not open in government because we're not budgeting. So we budget every individual fund, every individual.
Well, I think for the fiscal impact, it might be better just do it at 50%, Gives them something to keep moving, but obviously the intent is to find funds outside of that to fund both programs and both departments, so it doesn't shut it completely off, but I don't know that estimate in terms of dollars that will be coming in moving forward for the next 13 years is accurate either.
Right.
Quite honestly, so I think that's gotta take a slow nosedive
It does, yeah. It starts decreasing drastically.
Take off.
Mhm.
quite a bit.
Yeah, towards, I can't remember, I'm not gonna quote the exact dollar amount, but I know it kind of fluctuates over the next few years. It goes like 44,000 this year and then, I think it's what, like 48,000 and 27, and then it drops down to like 38 or something. It's just up and down. So, and then it starts tapering off more once we get closer to 2038.
I thought it was 75, say 50% last year. Next year, if you look forward, this is going to be less than that. So tell them, you gotta find more.
Yes. Yeah, and we,
It's like, I think you need. You need to.
right.
find whether the program's effective.
Mhm.
If the money comes out, I have to look at that.
Yes.
It's useful.
Correct. And that's why we developed all of the questions, because we wanted to show you guys the impact these programs are having. And so, if you have questions for the staff, they are here and they can answer that, but those responses are attached. And one of the questions, follow-up questions came up was, how are you going to supplement this if it were to be, if your amount was going to be reduced? I think it is a hard decision. I think I encouraged Diane to look at their deck funding. Megan has been working with City of Manhattan and has had several meetings with Danielle to talk about those funds, and hopefully they'll be able to get an application in as soon as that opens up. So, and I would encourage the health department to apply the same way to the City of Manhattan. So.
I like that.
So just 75?
75 to 1 year.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Okay. Consensus for 75% on that. Yeah.
Go ahead and make a motion that we approve the proposed budget for the health department and community corrections at 75% for 2026.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded, to fund the budget request for the opioid for funds. At 75% is requested. All in favor?
Thank you, commissioners.
Sure. Thank you.
I guess I cleared the room. I cleared the room.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commission. John Ellerman, Public Works, here to present the Judicial Center Services Space Needs Assessment Consultant Selection. So back in from the strategic planning process that we went through, the board kind of prioritized Judicial Center as being one of the top items in our strategic planning process in the next few years. So just last month or a couple months ago, we selected or submitted RFQs out to whatever firms came in. We have 5 firms bring up, submit qualifications for the selection committee to decide or to review. The selection committee was Judge Bannister, Barry Wilkerson, Megan Lewis, Evan McMillan, and myself. And of the 5 firms that submitted qualifications, 4 of them were interviewed on the week of July 21st. Anderson Knight, Baker McMillan, BG Consultants and BBN, all interviewed that week. Each one of those had a subcon consultant with them that specialized more in the study side of the project. So when we come down through after listening to it, we selected BBN with their partnership with Finterest. That Finterest is a Maryland-based company. They specialize in studies and planning and programming of judicial centers, courthouses, county attorney buildings, and community corrections, all that to do with courthouse and court services stuff. They have like 37 years of experience doing the same thing, 1,200 courthouses over the United States, working on federal buildings, state buildings, and county buildings, is including county attorney and community corrections. So with that partnership, we kind of help them with the planning and programming, and then their more strength was into the design phase at once, if and when that is decided to do. But the group felt that Finterest had their strong efforts and their expertise was in that phase that we're working on right now, is gathering the information, putting it together, and then even programming and putting together a building that took in security, safety measures, how to separate each entrances and access to each courtrooms and all that. So they built for BPN and Pinterest partnership to recommend them.
There, we had talked briefly about us doing tours or something to do with this. Is that built into that
Yes, ma'am.
program?
The one would be, I think they talked about, this group as well as a couple of the others talked about where they would send us to or what would take us to on tours. Not send us, but they would come with us, and they were the buildings that they had active partnership in. I think one of them was in Cape Girardeau, although that's a 8-hour drive or a pretty long drive from here to get there, but that was one of them that Finterest had done. And then we talked about Johnson County and some fairly close. So we did talk. We didn't make any decisions on where, but we talked about.
But they're built in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their time frame was 6 to 9 month time frame on completing the study. Maybe a little longer than some of the others. The others were like around 6 months was their timeline on getting it completed.
That's probably. It's probably better.
We did discuss them taking their time to getting it right, but also not dragging our feet and stalling out in places that we can keep on some kind of schedule if, depending on where we're going with this at the end.
Okay, then I would make a motion to approve BBN Architects and to perform the visual centers assessment.
Second.
And moved and seconded to approve BBN Architects home conditions and the space need assessment. All in favor?
Awesome.
Thank you.
John. Thank you, Commissioner Kathy Oliver, 10.
All right.
Yeah. Well, when the new teams came in, it's 30 years ago now. I flipped the coin and I know. I was young and dumb, but I'm still loyal. Like, what's your hair? No, I'm kidding. I'm hopeful they've got the right coaching staff around him, but they'll give us a much talent, they better. I don't know. Yes. They're only paying him $55 million a year now.
Well, that'd do all that.
They did like high tempo, like almost like silent like.
I'm even paying attention out there.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
And I asked her if she had a snack and she had this for you. Which I got it REI last weekend. But it's Chelsea. So I'm like, it's pretty good. It's not.
fruit jerky.
That's not.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's really good.
How many calories?
Hold on, sorry. 8. Oh,
8?
8.
No.
That you can have on the car.
Good comments.
So why don't you just eat fruit? Why do you not eat?
You can actually,
Tornado with the workings.
I try to, that's that day, and like I got pretty in the morning, I might, that whole process. Yeah, exactly, they're not gonna be simple.
She does, but I don't, I need stuff to think I guess when I forget it. Come back, and I'm just like,
What's your choice?
I don't like very bad, but you usually looking for this, so I think I just feel that. I was gonna get.
Yeah, often when I played, I tried out on these slips.
Sam, Riggles, certainly. Yeah. I'm not that, I'm like $4 in pounds.
Right?
I'm not very old enough to get rid of this, just every time, but.
I'm surprised those things sell.
But like this weekend, right, I was telling them, well, of course,
Yeah.
they were crossing, you I bet you it's not something that you're gonna sell to the director. Because you did. Right.
You just gotta do.
Well, you take the resolutions, get the plans.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
You gotta find the needs that end, so.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a just regulation. I'm sure you can have it.
You could have had some got granola bars.
You know what?
Granola bars.
Yeah. Anything. Any ways and no, I mean, that's all the issue, situation, I need.
Says who?
Or you got.
Right. Sometimes you just need to tell them what you need to tell them.
Yeah, I was just, I tell you, like, so. All, everybody, free. You know, I can see you, reminder of. Because we need to get actually. I mean, this. I mean, I don't know what today. They won't make that solution. But if they go back every. Last. Thursday. Need make more oil days. But I need to make more oil days.
Why?
Man, every time I try to do rock all day, I just absolutely obliterate that day.
There's a trick. There's a trick.
I mean,
You have to say,
sorry.
that's the only advice I have, it's like, well, you're not, you fail every time, yeah, so it's, but I think it makes a lot, it feels so.
I've heard you run it on the bar and I can try to peel it, that's so lovely.
No, a trick that works. First off, I have chickens, so really fresh eggs you can't do. So do them a few days old, it's work better, but take a little pin on the big end of the egg, just poke barely through it, don't jab in, just poke past the shell and past that membrane is what you're doing. And then do that to every egg and then boil them. That allows that hot water to get in there and boil around the outside of that membrane. All the difference in the world.
All right,
All the difference in the world.
I appreciate your wisdom. I would have never guessed it, dude. Is that you passed down? Did you figure that out?
No, my dad's wife, and she does that. She told us decades ago, and it works. But yeah, that frustrates me to no end to peel an egg and you lose 3/4 of the white part, you know?
Yeah.
But just put that little pin through there and that's all you're doing, just letting the water get in around that membrane, to help separate it. It works great.
Like that, amber, fresh eggs.
Yeah, fresh eggs, I can do that to fresh eggs and you still have the problem with probably 50% of them or more. But yeah.
I buy eggs from farmers marketplace. And I got fertilized eggs. And I will, after that, I'm not doing that again. No.
Just protein. That's where you're getting the egg, right? Protein.
Yeah, that was the idea. That was the idea.
But so much as we want to making videos, and you watch one where you kind of cook, everyone's getting. No, not for me, that's what you need to change it.
Some countries, it's a delicacy, duck eggs, especially about just before they're hatched. I mean, they're pretty well developed. I know we had a girl that worked in elections temporary and she went on a summer program and she actually did that. Must have been, but yeah, I'll eat anything, even I don't know if I would eat that.
But they actually store them in sand, you know, they get them there. Oh, they store them in sand for crazy amount of time of the month. He's made them and they just.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to say that it does. Like, it doesn't look like that, it doesn't look like that. I'm not sure.
Like, I guess, I was absolutely sorry, sure. Yeah. I'll do it.
Well, also, yeah, eggs and stuff, there's some.
Yeah.
That's just fair. See if you're going to try to waste.
Yeah. Those are like the years. Different.
You're not leather, you're like the shell is. So.
Yeah.
But the soft shell, that gets, okay.
It's like a chicken egg. Every once in a while you get a chicken egg that comes out early. There, it's like that, pliable.
For anybody out there. Yeah, those.
Well, first,
Yes.
Yeah, hey, I'm all for it. I would love to do like I used to do some fucking.
I love like that.
Yeah.
It's a real trick to figure out the timing on that. But yeah, I used to love them.
I tried to see.
Yep.
The source of issue. Maybe I should have cooked this one.
Oh, really? Right. Used to eat those. Oh, really? Oh, that was. Huh, we always just use salt and pepper. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think, I like those little phrases. That's what it was. I'm gonna do it. I know what they're doing.
But it also is that say still off so yeah.
Well, it's, you know, nice stuff we found yesterday, you know, get too bad. Yeah, even I gave him this thing, yeah. I was.
Yeah, I think it's just pretty cool. You guys have to do that.
Right. Last second, yeah. And then one of the things that she did show up, actually, was that.
Sounds like you guys know. Like, I was using this as. I. Being in the vision. But I don't watch so many scenes of the music, and you know, one thing is that somebody has nothing on. I mean, this is so you don't get certain things like.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll just go to the question.
There are, there's, you can say there's a lot of people there, obviously, and you gotta play that game.
Yeah. But also, like, this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you wanna, there's plenty of folks out there, what you basically talks about. Shaped, which is for everybody. Yeah. It's like moral basis.
I'm not going to get it.
Right. It's not hers. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I'm very big for something.
Yeah.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Kathy Oliver with Riley County District Court. I'm the court administrator. And Alexis Robinson and I are here to request out-of-state travel. She is attending a conference in New York at the end of next month. Pretty quick. For the alcohol, American Probation and Parole Association Conference. Alexis works with the juvenile offenders for Raleigh County District Court. And she can go into more detail about the conference and why it's a good idea.
Hello, I'm Alexis. I actually work. Oops. Not really sure what I did here. I actually work with juveniles and adults in our office. So when I requested to go to this conference in New York, which is the American Probation and Parole Conference, I received the money from the joint. It's JCAP, Joint Correction Advisory Board. And they voted for that. The way that I acquired those funds were putting together a proposal. I think it was 2,500, I believe. So the extra amount in here just goes for breakdown as far as for per diem, which would be food, which would be $70 a day, and then my mileage. And I think baggage, but that's just the extra, which I think that all totals into that particular amount. The registration, we covered the reason for this conference or what I was requesting. Like I said, it will help with our community as far as just seeing what new trends are going out there, being able to bring that back here to help reduce recidivism and deal with the changing of the trends of supervision as far as with adults and juveniles, focusing more on mental health and drug and alcohol, because that's a big thing here, especially with youth, justice involved youth here in Manhattan that I've noticed for the past 2 years or 3 years, I've seen a steady increase. So that would be able to help not with just my office, but as far as any of my peers because I collaborate with a lot of different resources. I also work with do sync cases and then being able to handle those particular demographic of families who aren't really being supervised, but being able to speak to them, not as much in an authoritative role from the supervision side, but just seeing what things are out there. Questions?
The form says it's a privately owned vehicle, that's part of it, and then it goes down to KC Airport, so that's just the mileage to the airport.
Yes, I mean, we currently do not use county vehicles or state vehicles anyway, so if we do any traveling, we do a mileage form. Wasn't planning on renting a car.
Well, and maybe it says Delta ticket and then it says ground transportation, so I'm not quite sure where we're at.
I put that in there, whereas if I don't know, got a taxi or something in New York, I wasn't planning on renting a car. Parking there is not what I'm looking for. So I just included ground transportation in there, my own vehicle to get to Kansas City, but Uber or whatever when I'm in New York. Yes, ma'am. That could be the subway, taxi. I don't know. So I kind of just put that in there.
Okay, so okay, that was a little confusing.
No. Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the out-of-state travel request for Alexis Robinson to attend the APPA conference in New York.
I would second that.
Moved and seconded, complete the out-of-state travel request for Alexis Robinson to attend APPA conference. All in favor?
Chair, please sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so New York.
Hi, Catherine. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Already. Good morning, Commissioners. Catherine Hensler, Director of the Museum. This morning, I am here with you to talk about funding, but as opposed to usually me standing up here asking for funding, we actually have a funding opportunity. So I've been talking with you quite recently about our as-needed museum assistants and our need for those positions. They are as needed. They are not permanent, or excuse me, they're not part of the full-time regular staff. They are considered seasonal, part-time. However, the ones that we currently have with us have actually been with us for quite some time. They are well trained and they are very much essential to the day-to-day operations of the museum. We, of course, as you know, we've been very busy. Especially beginning of the year, we installed the new permanent exhibits, we had field trips, and we had to call on them more than what we normally do. So generally our allotted hours and our budgeted hours and funding get us through the year. This year it didn't. We will run into a shortfall within the next few weeks. And so we started looking at some solutions. And we're very fortunate also to have our Historical Society as our nonprofit partner. They do have funding available, set aside specifically and restricted for supporting personnel at the museum. And so they were made aware of our need at the museum, and they have offered to fund those positions through the duration of the year through a grant. So I do mention in my background information on this report that the Riley County Historical Society has set aside some restricted funding specifically to support the museum's personnel needs. And they have offered by board vote at their July 9th meeting to make funding available to the county to supplement our as-needed positions through the remainder of the year, offering not to exceed $15,000. Those current positions, we have 4 of them. They're occupied by Lisa Jones, Holly Hill, Brantley Schiermeyer, and Eric Gudenkoff. They are all listed under the seasonal, part-time, and temp line item. And in 2025, our department budgeted a total of 1,430 hours, which was approved during our budget planning last year. These positions are paid $15 an hour. I have met with the Human Resources Department and Finance to discuss what our true actual needs for the remainder of the year are. And we've come up with, it's right around 760 hours. So, excuse me, the museum will be open for a minimum of at least 800 hours through the rest of the year. And those are our regular open hours, so open to the public. This would allow us to have at least one of those as needed positions with us for the majority of that time. That is also not including anything evenings, weekends, extracurricular projects that might come up. So we do know that won't fully cover the 800 hours, but it will help us out greatly. Right now, those staff positions are helping us with day-to-day activities, the opening, the closing, greeting visitors, taking visitors on tours. Also, we manage the Goodnoe State Historic Site. They help out with guided tours there. They step in with field trips. Really, there are, I mean, again, their titles are as needed. They're very much needed. So with those 760 hours we propose, that's counting starting on August 1st through December 19th. The cost for that, which would include hourly rates and employer taxes, would be $12,286.92. Today, if you approve that gift coming through the Riley County Historical Society as a grant, they will cover 100% of that. So there's also no expectation that these additional 760 hours that we're talking about today will be included in future personnel budget proposals. This is, I can't say it's a one-time thing because we will probably need assistance later on, but my plan is not to attempt to even try to add this to budgets in future years. So this is again, I can't say a one-time ask. We're going to we're not going to be tacking these onto future budget requests, but we do need them this year. And so I guess we'll move into fiscal impact. There is no fiscal impact to Riley County's budget, and this request will be fully funded by the Riley County Historical Society. I guess at this point, do you have any questions for me? Okay. So then the recommendation I would make would be two-part to approve these proposed increase of hours for the as-needed museum assistants for up to 760 hours for the remainder of the year. This would be through starting August 1st through December 19th. And then to accept the grant proposal from the Riley County Historical Society, which their board has offered to fund those 760 hours for the as-needed museum assistants in the amount of $12,286.92. Happy to entertain any questions, concerns.
Go ahead.
This is done by.
Well, it's two parts. We need to,
I move to approve the additional 760 hours and the funding available from.
It may be,
So I want the hours is important.
it may be easier to just say I move to approve the recommendation as presented.
Yeah, okay, the seven, you got to actually authorize them.
we're not getting motions on here on these cars. I don't know if that's a change.
Oh, I can read the motion as it is here. It says move to approve the proposed increase in hours for the as-needed museum assistants of up to 760 hours for the remainder of the year, August 1 through December 19th, 2025, and to accept the grant proposal from the Riley County Historical Society, whose board has generously offered to fund 760 hours for as-needed museum assistants at the proposed amount of $12,286.92 through the time period indicated above. If you approve that, say so moved.
Okay, I would make a motion to approve the recommendation for the museum assistants as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the as-needed assistance as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner, we have Jacob Hansen up in a minute and a half. Jacob, you need the full time?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. Sure. I put that one. Way to go, got it close.
Thank you.
Did you need that other one? I don't think I passed it on.
Sure, I'll take it.
I
Thank
think
you.
that was yours. The possible motions not going in because of Civics Plus, or are they just not getting?
We're still under the track.
Okay. Is there a reason we're not getting the possible motions?
Probably we've noticed a lack in performance since they're phasing this product out. Nothing we can do about it. That's one of the reasons we're going away from time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've always had it, so.
Yep, we've noticed several changes since we've been in this transition.
I move the county commissioners, including Chairman McKinley, Vice Chair Foki and Commissioner Ford, with Jacob Hansen, interim county counselor, attorneys for the commission, and Elizabeth Ward, human resource director. Recess into executive session pursuant to the non-elected personnel matters exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act in order to discuss the search for and the hiring of employees within the counselor's office. The open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 10:45 a.m.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded for the county commission to recess into executive session. We previously stated that the non-elected personnel matters exception to the Kansas Open Meeting. All in favor?
Meeting is live.
Okay, I'll move the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded, the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session, all in favor?
I also move that the record reflect action shall be taken consistent with the consensus reached in executive session.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded, the record reflect action shall be taken consistent with the consensus reached in executive session, all in favor?
Aye.
I will also make a motion that we appoint Jacob Hansen to the position of county councilor effective August 2nd.
That.
Been moved and seconded to appoint Jacob Hansen as a county councilor on August 2nd.
Let's start the hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay.
Just remember, you asked for it.
Yeah.
Now we need to talk.
Suddenly I see an office being closed to session.
All right, good morning, Commissioners. David Adams, EMS Ambulance Director. I'm here on behalf of the Construction Committee to talk about the permitting process at the Riley County Emergency Management, Riley County Fire District #1 building remodel. So as the background, as you know, earlier this year on April 24th, the Construction Committee came to you to discuss whether we wanted to go with the city's permitting or do the AHJ, which is authority having jurisdiction. Kind of went down the road of the AHJ because we're concerned about costs and timeliness to keep this project moving along. So we did that. There's been a lot of discussion now, but since then, among our committee, but also between county staff and city staff. I mean, quite frankly, the city asked, what were your concerns? You know, why are you concerned about some of this? So there's been some good discussions amongst the groups. Specifically with Chief Stuckey and Fire Chief French from Manhattan Fire. He's been kind of working on the city's behalf to kind of find out some of these things.
He's also oversees the code department.
He oversees the codes department. So, so as I said, we talked about some of it being added expenses, going through the permitting and plans and review processes and such as that. So they've already done some of this work for us or ahead of time. First off, talk about the stormwater, like at the headquarters, a lot of new concrete, a lot of things, you know, we had to do and put in underground storage for the water so it don't dump it into this holding pond. And that took a lot of time, took a lot of money, and really was a big factor in how long the project was going to take. The city engineer saw the plan, saw the layout, just not the plans of the building, but what the layout of the building and all of the parking lots and what that would look like. And they've determined based on some of their factors, such as how much new area is going to be turned into concrete from what is there currently, there's not going to be any concerns. There's no need to do any stormwater studies and no need for anything new. So that was one concern that we had that has been alleviated. They've looked at it. The engineer says it's fine. Here's the wording to put in as such. The next was coming about was looking at the plans and code services. So they've already received some of the plans that have been the plans have been put together, and they've already started studying those. So they said with the remodel, it's not near as intensive as it is for a new build, especially something like what we were comparing it to with our headquarters, and that this can be done quickly. And it's not as labor intensive as we kind of thought it might be. So they've already started that. The third big section that we had was we're putting in a storm shelter, tornado shelter, if you will, on the outside of this building, but connected to the building. And this has been a discussion that we've had within our committee off and on quite a bit. And, you know, when you put in a storm shelter, a FEMA shelter, if you want, if you will,
for something such as this, you really talk about what codes are you following? There's the ICC 500, but with the building itself, it's whether it's an IBC or the international building codes, or if it's the international existing building codes and things like that. But when it comes to storm shelter, it really comes down to peer review. The ICC 500 code, if you will, says for storm shelter, it needs to be peer reviewed to make sure that it meets the standards. And this was something for on the construction committee that I felt pretty strongly about, is if we're having a storm shelter, having a tornado shelter, and we're telling our people this is safe, this is where you're going to go in case of a tornado, to me, peer review makes sense. Because we're telling you, so we've got to put something into our words, if you will. So having those conversations with BHS and with Arc Images, we believe that the peer review that was done for our headquarters had to be done, or it was chosen to be done by a firm, I believe out of Texas, that took quite a bit of time and quite a bit of money. For what they're trying to do here, what we're planning on doing here, that can be done locally. It can be done in concurrence with the construction of the building, since this is an add-on to the building and not in the middle of and being encapsulated by it. It can be done at a much more reasonable rate. So, but based on those three factors, and with the city working with the county for waiving the permit fees for our projects, it is our recommendation that you allow Riley County to work with the city of Manhattan to follow city code guidelines for the EM County Fire remodel.
Sense to me.
Good discussion.
Scott's been at it for a long time, so I knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So,
And we have a great relationship with Scott and with county staff. And Scott was a little, they're trying to say, why do we not want to do this?
Yeah.
Why don't you want to follow code? And there was pretty honest discussion about these things. But we also understand that need for that relationship and such as well. So.
I think that's good. Okay. You can make a motion then to allow Riley County to work with the city of Manhattan staff and follow city code guidelines for the EM Riley County Fire Department #1 remodel.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to allow Riley County to work with the city and have staff following city code guidelines for the EM fire remodel on paper.
All right, thank you, commissioners.
Thanks, David.
Yep, absolutely.
Next, Commissioner, I'm on 11:05, or I am at your disposal for earlier if you like.
It's works for me. Hint, hint. Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rich Vargo, Riley County Clerk. Before you have the request to allow us to advertise for the temporary election assistant positions, the 3 positions, to help us through this November election process. It's something that we typically do every election, is gear up with temporaries to allow our full-time to work on other aspects of the administrative side of the elections. So it is within our budget. So no, not asking for additional funds.
I was just curious what your timeline is on that. Well, we're not having a primary, so I mean.
Correct.
So why?
Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We got to get them hired, and then you got training with it, because you don't find anyone, unlike our last position, which we were lucky enough to find someone with election experience from another county, but you just don't find anyone with election experience. But I will tell you this, we generally hire college kids and high school kids, and those kids are so helpful with the technology that we have to use with election systems now, that they are a huge asset. And we could.
Telling me they actually teach you something?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Much needed.
I missed the recommendation on there. I'm sorry. I didn't jot.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Good question.
I make a motion to approve the request to open the elections assistant positions, starting now at the end of July.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the request for election assistant positions on paper.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Good night. talk to both of you, post meeting for a couple of minutes.
All left side, please. Thirty-first. On all the time keeping track of it too.
Crazy over the weekend.
July.
You see mattresses on
I know.
the cars,
Gonna start today.
loading chairs going everywhere.
Unless they're standing the advertising.
Yeah.
The advertising, that's thing, it takes a little while to get them in.
Usually for about
And by the time we interview,
August.
it's a couple more weeks and. Where you know the election's here. It's kind of like the end of July got here.
You need furniture, now's the time to start rapidly checking out street corners.
So I heard it's actually, the last, arts in the park thing this weekend, and that's here already.
Yeah.
End of summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that this one's like, you gotta be kidding me.
And somebody's talking at work, they're like, you gonna make any plans for Memorial Day this year? And I'm like, do you mean Labor Day? And I said, well, it's
Whatever.
kind of off, but yeah, I was thrown off just by saying Memorial Day. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, yeah, Labor Day really isn't that far away.
Yeah.
It's really not, we got the holidays correct.
It's actually first week.
Yeah, it's a very, the first of September exact, so it's exactly a month. Football will have already started. Hopefully it will be 2 minutes.
Oh, hey, Commissioner, before we adjourn, there's one thing I want to let you guys know. Prairie Wood, they have officially appealed the Supreme Court. So I'm
State Supreme Court.
Yes, okay. They can't go to federal.
Yeah.
So thank you. Can't do that. Although that'd be cool. Just state Supreme Court.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, kind of saw that one coming. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. So, okay. And I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adjourn the July 31st meeting of the Riley County Commission.
Second.
Moved second to adjourn.